Welcome to all our viewers online. This is indeed 2020, when most things are done either virtual or hybrid, and mostly virtual. So again, as Terry said earlier, this is the Jamaica Health and Wellness Tourism Conference, and we are here today to have a 45-minute conversation about reimagining wellness, the world of wellness in the space of tourism as part of destination marketing. Our panel today, I believe two are online. Mark Swainbank from Zimbali Retreat. Mark, welcome. Give me a signal that you're there. Ah, there you are. Dan Ellis from the Reggae Marathon and Half Marathon, which is an annual event in Negril. Hi, Diane. Good. I see you talking. They don't worry for me to hear you yet. And our third guest is a good friend of mine, and recently we took a tour around Jamaica by bike. Economist, my good friend Dennis Chung, who was in his own way created is a wave in this business of tourism and health and wellness. Let me just kick off the session with a few thoughts that might interest you, as well as provide some context for not just this panel, but for this conference. The wellness industry has boomed in the past 5 years, ballooning to a US $4.5 trillion business, according to the Global Wellness Institute. With this growth, the term wellness has evolved and expanded substantially, might I say exponentially. As social media dominates everyday life and people become more confined to their work desks, a growing number of consumers across generations are on the hunt for better habits, a healthier lifestyle, and an increased focus on their physical and mental well-being. So wellness is about self-care, particularly the well-informed type that prioritizes activities and experiences that reliably contribute to overall happiness in life. This, according to Dr. Emiliana Simon Thomas, where she thought that what was once thought of as an industry exclusively for spa treatments now encompasses other forms of feel-good practices, from eating healthy, exercising, and sleeping, to taking emotional respites, prioritizing mental health, and making time for preventative medical care as well. So we're going to jump right into the conversation. I just wanted to set that frame for the discussion, and therefore I will first open up with Mark from Zimbali Retreat, who will tell us a little bit about Zimbali, what it does, and who it caters to, and why in this space of wellness and health tourism that Zimbali is well positioned to provide the kind of support for destination marketing. Mark?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I hope you can hear me. This time I apologize for any internet interference. Zimbali is located just outside of Negril, up in the mountains, about 20 minutes outside of Negril. This was an alternative to just the Negril, the beach and the cliffs. We offer a lot of quiet and a lot of real culture. We're located in a real farming village, and Zimbali Retreats is itself a 14-acre organic farm We farm a lot of food. We planted over 3,000 fruit trees from 15 years ago. So we feature a farm to table is one of our things. One of our way that we really approach this market is real culture up in the hills and food. So we do a farm to table. It's been recognized as our restaurant. We have 7 rooms as a retreat. And we also offer a great Rasta tour where you hike up into the hills and our friend Faya cooks you a nice wood fire meal. You know, all hand-grated coconut. All of our food is featuring hand-grated coconuts. We use a lot of very old world techniques and then fusion it into a modern style. And so that's our take. We show a side of Jamaica, real culture, real farming village, and peace and quiet up in the mountains.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. So let me jump right ahead, and we'll come back to Mark with some thoughts and questions as the conversation evolves. So Diane has been part of the staging of the Reggae Marathon and Half Marathon for more than 20 years, right, Diane? What's your role?
A bit, Donovan.
Sorry?
This is actually our 20th anniversary. This year is our 20th anniversary.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much. It's been a journey, and thank you for having us. We're so happy to be partnered with Mark from Zimbabwe, because just as an aside, a lot of our participants do the Zimbabwe tour as well as part of the whole Reggae Marathon experience. So even though we haven't met formally, Mark, this is a wonderful opportunity to say hi and, thank you for partnering and being there with us. 20 years ago, Reggae Marathon began as a project out of the Jam Diamonds Running Club of Kingston through their passion for road running. And they decided to have a local marathon event, which would encompass sports tourism, because formerly there was another local marathon which ended, and they saw the gap and decided to fill that need. And they recognized that in order to build the sports tourism product, we had all the elements here. We had the sea, the sun, the road, fantastic culture. So it all came together organically, and Negril was chosen as the destination. And a more perfect destination could not have been chosen, because Negril, as the capital of casual, has it all. And at that time, when the Reggae Marathon first began, there wasn't such an emphasis on health and wellness tourism. It was there in increments, but it has grown over the years. And we're definitely happy to have been a part of that experience and seeing the growth and the sort of focus now on health and wellness. And even though we're in a pandemic, which is, an unfortunate situation worldwide, it also provides a lot of opportunities, because it has forced everyone to concentrate on their own personal health and wellness. Because one of the things coming out of the pandemic is that the more healthy you are, the more likely you are to come out of this pandemic alive. And that has been a plus in our favor. So even this year, when we had high hopes of staging the Reggae Marathon in a big way to celebrate 20 years, we have been forced to cut back. We're now virtual for this year. It's going to be an exciting virtual event. Persons have already started. The event is open, and persons have been running their various races, either the marathon, half marathon, or 10K. And we're using that opportunity to promote their race within our event, and hopefully that will attract more persons to come to Negril in the future.
Perfect.
So that's just a little overview of, how we started, where we are now. But as I said, we've always had this focus on health and wellness. Perhaps maybe we were a little bit before the time, and it's all coming full circle, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Right. All right. So thanks, Dan. I'm going to, before I jump to my next panelist, I I was able to find something online while I'm standing here, which is quite interesting. And while you're sitting there, if you want to check it out on your phones or while you're at home or at your desk watching, go to wellandgood.com. They've made, at the start of this year, they made a 13-point prediction. It says, these are 13 top health and wellness trends we'll all be talking about in the year ahead. And I'm going to give you the first 5, and by the end of the panel, I'll give you the last 8. The first one is alternative meat moves beyond beef. 2, set aside CBD. Another crowd of cannabinoids is ready for its moment in the spotlight. 3, new tech is putting our health data at our fingertips and our health care in our hands. 4, we've got a crush on sports bras for the ladies that finally work with your body. And 5, skincare is the reigning beauty queen, and in 2020 she'll rule the world. That's 5. I don't know if you've noticed something by now. They've said 5 things, and they've covered a range of things: gender, activities, food, beauty, bra, all part of this wellness, health and wellness society and industry. So I'll come back to the last 8 at the end, but so that we don't rob my good friend Dennis of his moment. Dennis, please.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, Donovan. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to spend a little more time. I mean, this is the first year we've done this. So we started about last year, in about August. I went to a JTB function, saw Donovan, and Donovan said, hey, let's do something with the cycling community. Anybody who knows me knows that I love to ride a bicycle. So I said, yeah, let's do something. And I really don't need a reason to ride a bicycle. I just jump on it, you know. So after about a month and a half of planning, we organized what we call Discover Jamaica by Bike, which is a ride around the island, which I wanted to do a ride around the island. Donovan needed something to impact tourism. And in the COVID time, we said, what better way to do it than to be outside riding a bicycle where it's safe, you know, and have a lot of fun. So we organized in a month and a half a 4-day tour. The first day, we rode from Port Antonio to Ocherest, which was about 70 miles. The second day, we went from Ocherest to Negril, which was 109 miles. Third day, from Negril to Mandeville, which was 80 miles, but it felt like 200 with Spur Tree Hill. And the fourth day, we went from Mandeville to Kingston, which is 65 miles, for a total of 324 miles over the 4 days, spanning 13 parishes, which for serious bike riders included a 100-mile ride in it, which is from Ocherest to Negril. So the way we structured it is that we had some core riders. The core riders, we centered around 5 riders, and then other riders came in. Because it was just a month and a half, we did it quickly to impact tourism. We didn't have any persons from overseas because they couldn't make it. But a lot of people expressed interest. So we had Carlton Simmers, who is the national coach. We had Andrew Ramsey, who is a national representative, maybe our number 1. Donovan was also a co-rider, and you'll see him. Mike Smith and myself as recreational riders. We then thought about it and we said, what sort of impact do we want to have? And it was organized around this. So we had an impact around the product in a few ways. Number 1, we spanned 13 of the 14 parishes. So the bike ride took us 13 or 14. The only reason why we're not in St. Thomas is because of the roads, right? Or else it would be a 5-day tour from Kingston to Portland, and then we do the rest of the route. We provide business for hotels across parishes, not just in one parish. So we impacted Kingston, Port Antonio, Portland, St. Anne, which is Ocho Rios, Negril, and Mandeville, right? So we had an impact, and that was one of the features for us. We wanted to create as much impact as possible. We also impacted the local food spots off the beaten chart. So we have, places like Smokies by the Sea, Border in St. Elizabeth. We stopped there and featured there. Middle Quarters, a wellness restaurant called Fancy Fruit, very, very good food. We also, in doing it next year, which I'll tell you about the date, we're also going to be including not just the cyclists, but I've been on a few cycling events worldwide, and I can tell you the last one I went to was in New York. We had 7,000 people from around the world who took their families also. So that's one of the things we want to do, because we want to now tell people, come for a vacation, take your family, and spend a few days. Maybe your family stays in Ocherias while you ride around, and then you ride back, or in the grill, or wherever you want to stay. We had 7,000 people in New York, and when you go on these cycling trips, when you come back, you realize how much money you have spent. Right? You spend like a few thousand US dollars just to get a medal to say you have suffered for 100 miles. Right? It has a positive health impact. So we'll impact tourists by getting people to carry their families. It has a positive health impact also, and complements the health tourism products that are out there. You heard Mark and Dan speak about them, and we're building out on that. So we pride ourselves in developing this. This is one of the few products that impacts so much around the island, which is really what we love about it. In terms of the partners we've had to, Jamaica Tourist Board, of course, main partner. I mean, Donovan, thank you. Couldn't do it without you. The hotels, Kylie's here, Jamaica Inn was very integral. Goblin Hill. We had Skylark and Azul in the grill. We had Tropic View Hotel in Mandeville, and Spanish Court Hotel also, in terms of when we went back and hosted the closing event. Go Jamaica Travel Agency. We had corporate sponsors, Wisinco, National Bakery, Toyota Jamaica, Facey Commodity, and Supreme Ventures, right? And so what we did is we focused a lot on creating sponsors that are locally owned and locally managed, because we want to impact. I mean, everyone knows me as a financial person, right? So I know the more local things they consume, is the more money that stays here, and then the more money in my pocket too, right? Because you spend it here. We had monumental partners, or we do have, and social cast, which are technology partners, who have this developed our website, discoverjamaicabybike.com, which is a beautiful site, and it has all it features all the rides from this year and everything. Food partners we had was Smokies by the Sea, Border in St. Elizabeth, Middle Quarters, Fancy Fruits, Wellness Restaurant, and we even have stops at the local soup man.
Yep, we did.
Right?
We did.
And the coconut and fruit vendor. So that's the sort of atmosphere we want to create, and we expect to reach more people next year. So in terms of future impact, though, as I said, it is a huge community worldwide. I mean, millions of people are on a bicycle, and even on a platform that Armand calls Zwift, a virtual platform. You're talking about millions of people who are on that. And I mean, as I said, cycling is not cheap, right? One bicycle run you average about 5,000 US, right? And people have, the appropriate number of bicycles to have is N+1, and N is how much you have now, right? So people have multiple bicycles.
So Dennis, hang on a second. Let me just, because they're showing me some numbers in terms of time left, but I'm going to ask them to give us a little extension, given that we are running a little late, and I see the heads up and the thumbs up, but that's great. So I want to do 3 things in the time we have left. I want to engage any audience questions we have online, all right? But before we do that, I wanted to bring back Mark and Diane to ask them each one question and give them 30 seconds to answer, and then I'll ask you, Dennis, one question, give you 30 seconds. We'll take the questions, and then I'll close with my 8 points from Well and Good. So if I could get Mark back on screen, and Mark, if you could coin one thought as to the impact organic food has on wellness tourism, what would you say? What would you proffer as a thought in that regard?
That's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I don't even know if I have an answer to that. I don't know. You know, for us, it's just the culture and really, you know, in keeping food at the front. So I don't know how I would coin necessarily a phrase, but I mean, I love Jamaica. I love Jamaicans. I love the real Jamaica. I came to Jamaica from 15 years ago, and I married a lovely Rastafarian woman, and we created this in the hills. And so for us, it's culture and food, and you know, real Jamaica up in the mountains. So I don't know. That's not really a phrase, but that's what I have.
Well put. Well put. Well put. Easily put. And so Diane, I have the same question for yourself and Dennis, actually. What you've offered up, i.e. the Reggae Marathon, half marathon, or the ride across Jamaica, are indeed strenuous, as it is in the case of cycling, as Dennis rightly pointed out, a bit on the expensive side. What do you engage, or how do you engage an audience to do something that's going to cause them pain, but at the same time provide that kind of satisfaction that I've done something good for my body? Diane, you first.
Okay, that's an easy sell, Donovan, because within the running industry, everybody recognizes that there's no gain without pain. So if you're running a marathon, a half marathon, or even a 10K, you're going to have to do something out of the normal to reach your desired goal. And when you put that in the backdrop of Negril and all the other cultural additives that Reggae Marathon offers as a total event, I'm sorry I'm not able to show the PowerPoint presentation that we had, because it will show all the, you know, what can I say, the benefits of participating in such an event, in such a beautiful destination as Negril. It's not a hard sell. People gladly come to Negril to feel that pain, to get that gain. Dennis, it's not just a medal for Reggae Marathon. You get a shirt, a bag, a totally cultural experience. You have the possibility of linking with Mark and his tour and other such tours in and around Negril. It's an easy sell. People gladly come and do it. And we have seen the benefits over 19 years. And hopefully we can continue doing the same to bring that benefit to Negril and Jamaica.
19 years is a long time, and it's definitely a benchmark from which I'm sure Dennis is going to try to emulate. Your thought?
I think Dan is right. I mean, we just do it because you want to achieve something. You know, I mean, just the thrill of doing it.
Right.
You know, knowing at the end that you've accomplished it, you've gone further, you try to push your body further and further. And I think people around the world are like that. You know, people who participate in these events.
Absolutely.
They're like that.
So let me jump back into my list. I have 8 more things for you that Well and Good offered up as their 13 things that would trend in the world of health and wellness for 2020. Number 6, Megaformer-inspired workouts will become mega popular. We see them now every day on Zoom, right? The blooming fertility industry is delivering more options for parents to be. See, again, we've gone into something that probably we never thought about in the space of health and wellness. Number 8, chickpeas are getting the cauliflower treatment, AKA they're everywhere. Number 9, we'll all breathe easier with an air purifying device in our homes. How many of us have one of those? Number 10, welcome to the pleasure of revolution. Take that for what you think it means. Number 11, lymphatic health is the next frontier in wellness. Number 12, the future of beauty is sustainable and consumers won't have it any other way. And the last one, 13, blue zones thinking is coming for our workouts. What that means is that people are moving away from enclosed gym environment and want to go work out on the waterfront, on the bridges, on the balconies, etc., etc., etc. So I think when you think of those 13 things and you think of all the things we do today as individuals, as well as what we see people doing in their own spaces, I think they pretty much almost got them all right. Before we close off, though, in another I have a little more time, so that's good, perfect. So I can go back to my panelists. Because Dennis wanted to talk a little bit about what happens next with Discover Jamaica by Bike. And I'm particularly interested, as I am with Reggae Marathon, because sports tourism is as much wellness tourism. The two things are symbiotic, because a lot of what you do in preparation for sporting events or sporting activity is built in the whole thought around wellness and health management. And so from that perspective, I want to introduce another thought, Dennis, because you made a point as it relates to cycling, right, that it's expensive. And people do it because it makes them feel good. It's kind of the definition of luxury tourism. So now we're tying health and wellness, and we're weaving in luxury into that. And you mentioned Jamaica Inn, and you mentioned Azul, and you mentioned Goblin Hill, and I'm thinking, wait, is this a deliberate approach to create a mechanism around the affluent traveler, or is it just by happenstance?
No, I think it just happened like that. I mean, people who travel, for example, might not have a bicycle, but they rent one also. So, people here can actually rent one. It just so happens that the places that we got Goblin Hill, Jamaica, so those are places who came on enthusiastically. But people can stay anywhere, Okay. It's really where we assemble from and leave, So it's not really affluent. But I know that when people are on vacation, particularly when people go on sporting vacations, they tend to spend a lot of money.
Right. So there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. So Diane, if I could get Diane back on screen. Diane, Reggae Marathon has been around for 19 years, going 20. It's once a year, but we have an all-year-round tourism product. Is there an opportunity for a expansion of the Reggae Marathon brand to have mini runs across the destination year-round that is particularly geared to our visitors who are into a healthy lifestyle and don't mind the collegial approach to a morning run of 10K or 5K or, just a kind of experience that gives them the same kind of Reggae Marathon feel, but at the same time, almost building on that brand that you have already created over 19 years. Is there an opportunity there?
Definitely, Donovan. In fact, our sister company, which is Running Events Jamaica, they have actually used the Reggae Marathon as a culmination of races throughout the year. We're praying that when the pandemic is over, we can go back to actual running and not virtual. But in the meantime, Running Events Jamaica presents at least 20 opportunities throughout the year leading up to Reggae Marathon, where visitors and locals alike have a choice of road races in and around the island, from Kingston, stretching Mandeville, other area, Montego Bay, where we have other running events. And, it's open to all, so persons are welcome to come. And to come back to Dennis's point, everybody has an opportunity to use their event to benefit the community that the event takes place in. We found that with Reggae Marathon, demographic is someone who is college educated or not, and they have a certain amount of disposable income to travel. For locals who may not fit that profile, the fact is all you need is a pair of running shoes, but the benefit is translated economically to the island, which is one of the things we had wanted to achieve, because once you come to run, you're spending money somewhere, somehow, either on your gear, your food, your experience, so that translates as a total benefit to all.
Okay. And last, but definitely not least, Mark, what's in your mind, as you think of your product and the role it plays in this health and wellness space, what's the next big opportunity for Zimbali Retreat as you see it?
That's another excellent question. And the next big opportunity. Well, I hate to sound like I don't know, but I don't know about the next big opportunity. I was listening with Diane and Dennis, and there are always these offshoot ideas with the running and the riding. There's so much more there are more expansive ideas for both of those things. People are looking for that. The riding is excellent. I love that. I want to join that next year, as a matter of fact. And Diane, I thank you as well for the Reggae Marathon. That's been a boon for Negril. I actually just try to feed off of those things, right? I feed off the Reggae Marathon as a destination with the restaurant and things like that. I don't know what the big next opportunity is, but I'm there to hopefully, I look for these things, and I like to participate in these things. And also, when the ride comes to Negril, if we could offer a dinner towards the ride. So I'm always looking to tag with great things that are going on, and just participate in the marketplace.
All right, thanks, Mark. So I'm gonna wrap, and I'm gonna close with a 2-minute video that was produced of the ride across Jamaica. But before we see the video, first of all, do we have any questions from anybody online? Are there any questions? No questions. Perfect. So COVID-19 will make us completely rethink tourism, and the truth is that we started that rethink some years back. 2 years ago, we hosted the Caribbean Hotel and Tourist Association's marketplace right here in the convention center. And the theme the tourist board hosted, and the theme for the magazine for the conference was Jamaica Beyond the Beaches. And it wasn't by chance, because we have been extremely deliberate in the ministry and all the agencies in focusing on the value proposition that Jamaica has to offer to travelers around the world, because people are increasingly looking for interesting, different, and unique experiences to value their travel dollars. And we want to play in that space. In fact, we have to play in that space. And so we've been thinking about this for a long time. And so some of these things that we've talked about it's not by chance. It's not because we as I say in Jamaica, we didn't buck up into it. It's been thought of. There's a vision that leads the ministry, that guides how we think about these things. Linkages is a big part of that thinking about Jamaica Beyond the Beaches, because there is just, when we went on that ride across Jamaica, the amount of places we stopped and touched and had an experience with that most of the riders didn't have a clue existed, is just unbelievable. And you can imagine what that would be if people are actually coming to Jamaica to ride across Jamaica. Or not even to ride across Jamaica, just to have, a parish ride or a town ride, which happens now, by the way, with some cruise ships that come to Jamaica. people actually go cruising with their bikes, and when they get off the ship, they go riding. And that happens right here in Montego Bay with some cruise lines as we speak. So the point I'm making is that there is a real opportunity, not just for destination marketing to evolve, but for also some of our entrepreneurs to evolve with the opportunities that are presented and that are available for the creative mind and obviously for investors. So from that perspective, again, I want to welcome everyone to this two-day conference. I think there's a lot of learning to be had. There's a lot of information to share. There's a lot of knowledge store available to tap into. So please ask your questions and be part of the conference. Don't just absorb, also expel and help us to help you and we want you to help us. So I leave you with a 2-minute video that really shows off Jamaica, not just the riding, because we actually shot every minute of the ride and then have created content with it that we will use to market the experience in Jamaica. So enjoy. It's healthy, it's meaningful, it gives us a chance to see Jamaica. There's actually an opportunity to ride parishes, and we want to encourage some of our touristic partners to build tours and train tour guides to do tours like these.
This is Dennis Chung. We are in Portland, just about 9.72 miles. We have another 60 miles to go to get to Ocharias. So we're just breaking into it, you know.
I'm Christopher Issa. I'm in Hotel World in Jamaica. Cyclist, happy to participate in the Discover Jamaica by Bike Ride. Weather's beautiful. See you in the ground.
Hi, welcome to Smokies by the Sea. Today we're serving some coconut water. We're keeping it healthy. The better our immune system is to fight this COVID, the better we are.
Day 3 was really a rough day for the riders because lots of hills in Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. As we're standing right now by Mr. Oral's corn soup pot on Spur Tree Hill, and this ride across Jamaica is helping us to rediscover real community opportunity that tourism brings to Jamaica. And to do ventures like these more across Jamaica to bring more awareness to tourism and tourism-enabled products.
We're in Mandeville. It was a pretty decent day. We had good weather. I think the ride took a toll on a few of the guys, but the main tour did well, which I'm happy with. So we see how best we recover for tomorrow's ride into Kingston.
All right, hope you enjoyed. Thank you.